Got him in group as a go.
Yes! Not just a startup, an upstart.
Gotta get going.
Gotta be good.
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 Growth is the goal. How do we do that?
I talked to UPS. They'll help us out. New technology, smart advice. We focus on the business, and they take care of the logistics.
UPS.
Good going.
We get good. That's great.
Great. Great.
Great.
Great.
Great.
Great.
Great.
Great.
I love logistics.
Welcome to another edition of Zips Weekly. I'm your host, David Suntup. We'll take a look back at the past week in Zips athletics, including Akron football's big clash against Bowling Green. The women's basketball team played in its lone preseason game, and Akron men's soccer hosted Buffalo with a chance to win the MAC regular season title. Akron football welcomed Bowling Green to InfoCision Stadium for a pivotal MAC East Division showdown back on November 4th. The Zips were looking to win to tie Bowling Green for first place in the division and also snap a two-game losing streak. Heavy rain greeted the Zips as they ran out onto the field at InfoCision Stadium. Pick it up scoreless in the first quarter. Andrew Pratt with an 8-yard reception. Good to have Kyle Pohl back in the lineup for Akron. This time Pohl locates a wide open LT Smith inside the 40-yard line for a 15-yard gain. The drive stalled when Stein missed a 51-yard field goal. Bowling Green Ronnie Moore runs forward. Jatavis Brown forces the fumble, but the Falcons recover. Bowling Green would have to settle for a field goal. Tyler Tate punches it through from 30 yards out. Akron trails 3-0 with 4 minutes left in the opening quarter. Later on in the quarter, James Kanapke back to pass, meet Jerome Lane. Thrown down to the turf, Jerome Lane with one of 3 Zips sacks in the game. Pohl back to throw, goes deep down the middle for Andrew Pratt. Defensive pass interference called, but it doesn't matter. The penalty is declined. First play of the second quarter, Robert Stein nails it from 40 yards out to tie the game at 3. Kanapke back to throw again, and Jerome Lane trips him up. The second sack of the game for Lane puts an end to the Falcons' drive. Chris Pullman bulldozes his way forward, but Jatavis Brown forces the fumble, and Cody Grice jumps on top of it, the only turnover of the game for the Falcons. Akron looking to capitalize off the turnover. Juwan Chisholm with a burst forward for 17 yards into Bowling Green territory. Pohl looking to his left, finds Franson Bickley ahead for 12 yards to put the Zips in the red zone, but the drive would end right here. Pohl throwing off his back foot, picked off in the end zone by Nick Johnson as Pohl is trying to give the Zips the lead. Bowling Green marched down the field after the pick and ended the drive with a Tyler Tate 45-yard field goal. The wet conditions continue to play a factor in the third quarter. Kyle Pohl can't handle the high snap, and Bowling Green jumps on it in the end zone. Taylor Royster with the touchdown. Akron was down 13-3. Pohl, another interception deep down the left sideline. Nick Johnson, his second pick of the game, one of 5 Zips turnovers. Fred Coppett zooms through the Zips defense for a 29-yard scamper all the way down to the Akron 13-yard line, and that set up Kanapke slings it to a sliding Roger Lewis for a 10-yard touchdown. In the fourth quarter, Akron trying to chip away at the Bowling Green lead. Pohl tosses to LT Smith for 16 yards. Hands off to Juwan Chisholm. He powers his way to midfield for a first down. The senior had 65 rushing yards. Pohl zips it to Tyler Williams over the middle for 20 yards. One of 8 different players to catch a pass. And here's Juwan Chisholm to cap it off. A 15-yard touchdown burst. The 4th rushing touchdown of the season for Chisholm. Akron down 20-10 with 9 minutes to go. The defense was trying to do its part to hold Bowling Green off the board. Cody Grice comes in to make the stop. Then it's Jatavis Brown, the linebacker. One of his 16 tackles, a career high for the junior, but it wasn't enough. Kyle Pohl picked off again, this time by Clint Stevens, as Stevens wins the battle for the ball. 3rd pick of the night for Pohl. Akron falls to Bowling Green 27-10 for its third straight loss. The Zips drop to 4-5 overall and 2-3 in MAC play. Akron turned the ball over 5 times for the second straight game, and it was too much to overcome.
You know, like I said, the game was miserable weather to open the game. I think the weather and the wind dictated how the score went. Neither team could score a touchdown. Defenses dominated for a half, and that's the way it was playing out. I don't think anybody could generate much offensively either way. Receivers had a hard time holding on to football because it was a wet, windy night. Second half, it's like we blinked first. We made the big turnover on a snap, and quarterback didn't handle, and it went straight to them. It wasn't their offense. They scored 7 without getting on the field, and we come back, throw an interception next series, and and those 2 turnovers led to touchdowns, and at that point we couldn't. The way their defense was playing with our offense, we could not overcome that. But we end up having 5 turnovers. They have 1. But those 2 were critical because the game was going. The game was a defensive battle. It was a defensive battle, and we could not afford to turn the ball over like we did.
Akron women's volleyball dropped its final 2 home matches last weekend. Akron fell to last year's MAC tournament champion Ohio in 4 sets on Friday. Sophomore Julie Shulman had 7 kills with no errors and a .583 hitting percentage, while Dragana Micic had 9 kills and just 1 hitting error. The loss put the Zips at 8-20 and 2-11 in the MAC. The Zips came up short after losing to Kent State in 4 sets this past Saturday on senior night for Mary Delich. Julie Shulman led the attack with 9 kills, and Delich added 8 kills in her final home match. Libero Brenna Mack had a career-high 17 digs. Akron falls to 8-21 on the season and 2-12 in MAC play. The win gives Kent State a half point in the PNC Wagon Wheel Challenge standings, and the Zips trail the Golden Flashes 3-1 this year.
Well, as a coach, and I could probably say this for every coach across the country in every sport, watching these young people and when they join your program and watch the program, watch them develop through the program, through their years of experiences, through their trials and tribulations, to see them becoming independent thinking adults is a great reward.
Akron women's basketball took the court for its lone preseason tune-up against Ursuline last Saturday. The Zips are coming off their first ever MAC tournament championship and NCAA tournament appearance, and also have senior forward Sinna King back after she missed last season because of blood clots. Akron clobbered Ursuline 100-62 in its only exhibition game last Saturday. Sinna King scored a game-high 19 points and pulled down 9 rebounds, while Anita Brown chipped in a double-double with 13 points and 13 rebounds. Katie Noonan added 12 points off the bench, with 10 of them coming in the second half, and sophomore Hannah Plybin dropped 11 points to round out the double-digit scores in a dominating performance.
You know, first exhibition game, first time in the uniforms for a lot of freshmen. Our goals are pretty simple today. We wanted to win the game, which we did, and stay healthy, and we were healthy, and play a lot of kids. So I think we accomplished those 3 goals, and very pleased with the team effort.
Akron men's soccer lost 1-0 at Penn State last Wednesday in its final regular season road match. The Zips allowed the game-winning goal in the 81st minute and couldn't find the back of the net despite outshooting the Nittany Lions 13-10. Goalkeeper Jake Fenlison made 4 saves in the loss. Akron drops to 10-6-1 and finishes 3-5-1 on the road. Akron men's soccer returns home to First Energy Stadium Cup Cadet Field after losing to Penn State for one final home match in the regular season against Buffalo. The math was simple. The Zips needed either a victory or a tie against the Bulls to win the MAC regular season title and host the MAC tournament. The Zips cruised to a 4-0 victory over Buffalo on senior night to win their 17th MAC regular season title and earn the right to host the MAC tournament. 4 different players scored goals for Akron. Adam Najim scored his team-best 11th goal of the year in the 27th minute. Kasel earned the Zips Student Athlete of the Week award after his performance against Buffalo. The win helps Akron wrap up the regular season at 11-6-1 and 4-1 in conference play.
Yeah, I'm very pleased. I thought that was a dominating performance, and we played well and to win 4-0 and clinch the MAC. That's what we wanted to do, and get the tournament here next week, and get everyone excited to play again. I thought it was great. Can't say enough about it.
Akron men's basketball took down Rochester 55-42 in its lone exhibition game on Monday night. Demetrius Treadwell led the Zips with 10 points and 14 rebounds for the double-double, and freshman point guard Noah Robotham chipped in 9 points and 2 assists. Akron dominated the glass after out-rebounding Rochester 44-25 and pulling down 21 offensive rebounds.
It felt amazing, man. We finally excited to get going and kick this season off, and playing against each other every day, that gets tiring and boring at times, but so we was happy to see new faces today.
Coming up this week in Zips Athletics, Akron football heads east on I-90 to take on Buffalo on November 11th. The Zips are 4-5 and looking to end a 3-game losing streak. The women's volleyball team wraps up its season with matches at Buffalo on Thursday and Ball State on Saturday. Akron men's soccer takes on Western Michigan in the MAC tournament semifinals on Friday at 7 and a rematch of last year's MAC title game. The winner advances to the championship game on Sunday at 1 o'clock. The women's basketball team starts the regular season this weekend with a pair of games in the inaugural Akron Classic against Binghamton on Friday and Northern Kentucky on Saturday. Akron men's basketball begins its season with a home game against UMBC on Friday night. The men's and women's cross-country teams head to Madison, Wisconsin for the Great Lakes Regional Championship on Friday. The rifle team has the Zippy Open Rifle match on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at the Robert A. Pinch Shooting Range. That wraps up this edition of Zips Weekly. Tune in next week as we'll recap Akron football's game at Buffalo and the men's soccer team's run through the MAC tournament. Thanks so much for watching. I'm David Suntup for GoZips.com.
Good.